Reg, a truly deserved accolade to be inducted into the Equestrian Australia Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
You've served equestrian sport in Australia for 58 years as an administrator.
That is right. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
What are some of the highlights of your life in equestrian sport that you remember most fondly?
One of the things I remember mostly is in '95 we had the Asian Pacific Games here, and I chaired 11 nations walking into the indoor arena. That's one of the highlights I had. The other highlight I had is that when I assisted Alan Oliver to build the course indoors at Canberra in the presence of Malcolm Fraser as Prime Minister and Prince Philip there as well. I suppose they're the two most highlights I had, although you can name them and go for hours on what I did do.
All of the time that you spent working in equestrian was voluntary. You never got paid $1 for the work you did.
No, Joe, I'd be a millionaire if I had, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Reg, you began working in equestrian in 1960 as a show jumping course designer and judge.
That is right, Joe, yes.
Who did you work under at the time?
Lester Lowerson and Colin Kelly, and they were the main ones I worked under.
Would you say that those two people were a very heavy influence on you deciding to become involved in equestrian at the level that you were?
Absolutely, they were the influence of me getting into where I was.
You also liked working with young people, Reg, and you were the Vice Chairman of the Victorian Pony Club Association for many years?
Yes, I was. Joe, as I said, I was involved in Pony Club and then become Vice Chairman of the PCAV in Victoria.
And you're also influential in creating the Equestrian Victoria Young Rider of the Year Awards. What was the thinking behind that?
To give an outcome to the young ones of the sport. They had nothing to aim for, and they could aim for that in every year. And that was started from memory 1987, and it went through. It was interrupted for a short time, and it got reinvented again, and it's back going again.
And you also served on the Equestrian Victoria Board for more than 20 years, and you're a Life Committee member and EV Branch Chairman for 8 years.
That is right. I was one of those that come as Chairman of the Victorian EVA, which became EV, and I undertook a lot of things that would never have been done if it hadn't been the influence I had.
And Reg, you're also a member of Equestrian Australia's National Board for 11 years.
That is right. I was, in them days, we were the Chairman of the branch, become the part of their National Board.
Also, Barastoc Horse of the Year show was something that you were instrumental in developing, and you were the chairman of that for a long time.
I was chair for that for many years, and the highlight of the Barastoc was in 2007 when EI came in and crippled the sport in the 1st of August, and no horse events was run in Victoria. The Barastoc committee decided they would invite the board to come for Barastoc in the next year, 2008, and run it. Barastoc was the first event after the EI, and we had approximately 2,000 horses and competitors on the ground. You
loved designing show jumping courses, Reg, and you were the chairman of the Melbourne Showjumping Club for 20 years.
Yes, and once again, I was there through Lester Lowerson and developed in them, and really the Melbourne Showjumping Club, a set of equipment was the thing that set all jumping whales in Australia done. And out of the Melbourne Showjumping Club, I developed a young bloke, John Vallance, we went on, and he's the best one in the world now.
Mm.
What are your recollections of Reg way back when it all began for you?
Well, I suppose I met Reg around about 40 years ago. I used to trot along to the jumping shows in Victoria with my partner at that time, and each weekend it was pretty much the same group of people who were servicing the sport there, and they were all from Melbourne Jumping Club. Reg was then the vice president of Melbourne Jumping Club, and it was probably the most influential jumping club in Australia at that time. And over a period of 18 months or 2 years, I got to know all these people, and Reg was the premier course designer in Victoria at that stage, and had been for some time. He'd been to Germany to do FEI courses, and he'd worked with quite a number of the international course designers. And he encouraged me to come and pick up rails, first of all, which was the start of my course design apprenticeship. But not only was he involved with Melbourne Jumping Club at that stage, he was also very active in the Pony Club movement and a very big supporter of Pony Club as the way for riders to get involved in the sport. And my first course design appointments were with Pony Club, and that was because of Reg. So I owe him a great debt of gratitude for what he's done for me, but more importantly, he's done it for a wide group of people. Sometimes they didn't even know that he was doing stuff to promote other people into the sport and to develop the sport in a positive manner.
Reg, you must have had a lot of fun along the journey.
Absolutely a lot of fun. Wouldn't have stopped the end of Paddington, and had a lot of fun. Caused a lot of mischief if I could in the sport.
Yeah. It's been a huge part of your life.
Yes, it had, Joe. It was near enough for a 6-day a week as a part of the sport, and a lot of nights. I'd work, and then I became working here in '89, and I'd work all day here, chair or be part of meetings of a night. A friend had seen me, might be in the morning to get breakfast.
Reg, you've spent a huge part of your life totally dedicated to the development of equestrian sport, particularly here in Victoria. What would you say is your proudest legacy?
The whole atmosphere of the thing, and the young riders. Because I think they went back through, I think at least 3 of the young riders that went through our scheme finished up at Olympic Games.
What is it that you enjoy most about working with the younger riders?
I enjoyed working with the young people, influencing the young people in the right direction to go.
And it must be very rewarding to see them go on like they have.
I am very, very rewarding to see them succeed in what they are.